Big Brother has tried his best, like when you see somebody has tried their best, right, to avoid being called a bad person, when it comes to the way he gives his punishment, strikes and or whatnot, right? He has tried his best to avoid being called bias and stuff like that. But at this point, I think Big Brother might enter the mood of I really don't give a shit, and then he's going to give the ultimate punishment. So a lot has been happening. In this video, I'm going to unlock and unleash to you again the relationship between Ilebaye and Neo, the fact that Doyin is scared for her life, the destroying the relationship of friendship between Seyi and Alex that is getting destroyed already, and the fact that Seyi has got beast mode, right? So of course, make sure you watch this video till the end. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell button for notification on every post I make, and share comments down below. Let's just get right into it. Let's not waste your time, okay? So my voice actually sounds terrible because I've been having little to no sleep because of this Big Brother Naija. They bring for now hot content, but also the fact that you guys deserve the analysis, and the fact that it's like a job for me, right? It's like something I do like a job. So let's just get right into it. Like I said in the previous video, it seems like Ilebaye does not understand what it means to fight for your man. She does not understand what that phrase is. You fight for your man if, you spent years with him and built something beautiful, from grass to grace kind of level, suffer to suffer, and get to the point where it's time to enjoy. And then if any other person comes to try and take it away, you can fight them or even fight your man to get his mind right. But Ilebaye is coming with the clingy over, right, and over obsessed, good. So she's becoming clingy and obsessed about new energy, and it is really spoiling her game so much. Like anytime she's around any other female, Ilebaye is clinging on Neil. She's hugging him tight, holding him, choking him with her mouth, and all and all the 9 yards. This we saw in the fact that she had warned him last night after the party that if that girl calls his name ever again, she's going to fight and beat her up, and then she doesn't mind leaving the show because of this fight. And we all know that she was referring to Ilebaye. She went on to, when they were in the garden, and Seyi was lamenting about the drinks, and then there was one or two other housemates. Ilebaye and Neo were sitting on that swing-like chair, right? And there was another person beside her. Ilebaye just kept choking him with her lips. She would just be kissing, sucking his mouth. Of course, he brought his lips for the same, but we could see the fact that he was feeling forced and as though somebody was pushing him to do what he didn't want to do. But it ain't none of my business. If she wants to spoil her game by that, she should continue, because I can see it already. Moving on from that, we can see that what's her name, Doyin and Ilebaye are seemingly brewing something that looks like a romance in the season of chaos, right? They're finding their romance in chaos. I don't know if that is going to work, because we all know that someone like Ilebaye has a high taste. Someone like me would not date Ilebaye because he's not like my kind of person, right? And I would not like to be around such level of toxicity that would demean me as a person and stuff. But Doyin apologized to Ilebaye last night in the dressing room that she only busted out because she feels like Ilebaye was one of the major persons who instigated what Ike did, but now that she knows, he's really sorry, and that he should not have expected, she was shocked that he said he was going to be quiet at her and not talk to her. They hugged it out, and I could see the intentional, oh, stop it kind of feeling, like when a girl is blushing over a guy and she's really crushing on him. That is what I was seeing, but maybe it is just me, right? Either way, even if she wants to grow a ship between her and Ilebaye, she should be very, very careful. Like I said earlier, right? The friendship between Alex and her besties when it comes to the guys is now crumbling, is getting destroyed because of how terrible they've shown themselves in the house so far. The first was with Pere yesterday when she had like a really bitter exchange with him when they were in the pink room, as both of them were on their beds and they're having conversations as to why Pere would be amongst those people who would instigate the kind of terrible things that was being done to Ilebaye. And then of course Pere could not even defend himself, and Alex kept calling him a very terrible person, a possessed human who focuses on destroying other people. And she went on to even call him or say that his heart is darker than his face, than his complexion. And we all know that his face really looks dark, and we know it was a shade because his face and his body does not match in the complexion. Why am I pondering and describing this so much as though I'm bitter? Anyways, we then saw the fact that Alex had another exchange with her so-called close man, Seyi. This was the guy that was trying to console her after she was crying for what was done to Ilebaye. And then, of course, Seyi was kind of drunk. He was lamenting about his drinks, although he was drunk. And, Alex wanted to ask a question, but then he blasted her and she came at him with all that she had. She was telling him that he should not think that he would be trampling on people. Because of him, she would be walking on eggshells and a whole 9 yards, right? It was really crazy. And I know that I'm not supposed to be regurgitating it this much, but I needed to make you guys understand that to me, Alex is doing the right thing for herself. I don't mean just because of the game, but for herself. She has seen how vile and bad these guys can be. She should pull out as soon as possible, because people might even naturally start disliking her, and then of course think that she might just be another terrible person pretending, right? And talking about that, it seems Seyi might actually get his own first strike on the Big Brother Naija show. And I am saying this because of all the things he said yesterday, how indirectly and directly he called Big Brother a biased human, and that right now that he doesn't care anymore, that people think that Kidwire and maybe Ike were villains, that he's going to be a tyrant. Worse than Osama bin Laden, he's going to be a terror to every of the housemates. He turned to Somadina, because Somadina was there when he was saying all this. I think Somadina, Pere, and somebody else, he was like pointing at him and saying, all that nonsense you used to do where you wash plates for these people even after they eat. Now anybody that eats and drops their plate, I will carry it and put under their beds or splash it on their beds. Let me see the worst that would happen. I don't care about the strikes. I don't care about this or that. Now, this is not exactly his words, but maybe he said that, or I actually heard that, right? But this was like the energy he was bringing through. He went on to say that, he's going to start putting this little kid, that little girl, in their place. Now, we know that he was referring to first Ilebaye, Doyin, and Angel. These are the girls, these are the people he refers to as little kids, that right now he's going to give them back to back, and people are just going to be disgusted by him and all the things he's going to do. I'm like, like, uncle, I thought you were talking about the home training you had, the fact that you are a father, a man of culture, a man of truth, a man of purity, a man who wouldn't hurt anybody and be a bias and stuff. I'm like, excuse me, where did that go to? Excuse me, where did that go to? Because this guy was intentionally angry. He was pissed and he was ready to go the 9 yards. Whilst they were talking, they didn't know that Ilebaye was somewhere hearing all this to an extent, just a little part of it. And then Whitemoney said, oh, forget about Ilebaye talking to Seyi. She's a small girl. And Ilebaye passed. I was like, Whitemoney, you called me a small child. And then Whitemoney was like, She now said, Ewa going. Whitemoney laughed and she walked away. And of course, when she was out of that place, she continued. I was like, this nonsense, Ewa going, no get tasty, no get salty, no get maggi, no get pepper. Pere was supporting. She continued and added that, except the viewers say I should go home tomorrow. If they don't, I have turned to the Saddam Hussein, no, Osama bin Laden, for these little children. After then, of course, he obviously warned Samadina, and went on to tell Whitemoney that we need to put these kids in their place. We're going to also have children. They will come and see. I'm like, you want to start with that self-righteousness nonsense again? Oh, Seyi, Tofiage. I'm disappointed. I am disappointed. As a man, I am disappointed. Tofia. Like, they tire. Where's this all coming from? The truth is, at this point, if Whitemoney and Samadina gets into this picture, they will enter the category of people that viewers at home would hate and dislike, and they will lose a chunk of their polls and their, traction for their game. They would also probably leave for home immediately after this, vile humans leave. So they should be both careful at this point. That's just all I'm going to say. And finally, on this video, like I said earlier, it seems Ike might really get a disqualification because at the moment, Doyin is scared for her life. So Doyin and CeeC were in the lounge talking. Pere later joined them and they were talking. CeeC was saying things like, you know what, all this nonsense they are doing, if this was outside of the house, it's to pay these 20 boys, I'll be 10 boys with 20k, and they will fix all this nonsense of these things that these boys are doing. And then, Doyin went on to say that she's really disturbed, that right now she's actually scared. She feels that when she sleeps, Ike might come and attack her in her sleep or on bed and stuff, that the boy is erratic, he's acting very mental, and it is a problem for her. She cannot sleep, she's scared and stuff. And here was Pere trying to, make her feel good about it, that no, he's not like this in the season, he wasn't like this. CeeC joined in saying maybe he's just acting like this to feel relevant or to make a statement or whatever, but he's not necessarily like this. I'm like, oh God, when somebody becomes obsessive on how to hurt you, it is actually in their rights to feel scared. And that is how Doyin is feeling right now. And I can understand it. I really hope Big Brother does something about it, or else there will be trouble. Anyways, guys, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, because I'm going to see you on the next one, bringing you every update as it is hot.